Hey up, me ducks. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave and happy Friday to everybody. Great to see so many people here. You may hear a lot of background noise because it's blowing a bit of a gale out there, and being as I'm up here on the 19th floor, it gets quite loud. Sometimes it sounds like a screeching banshee outside the windows. With having a mic like this now, it may pick it up. So, but how are we all doing? It's good to see so many people here and chatting in the chat. Let's see who we've got. So let's do some hellos. So Rob, gotta give, if ever there's an award to give out for commitment, it's our Rob. 12 minutes past 4, he was here. Nice to see you, Rob. And then Ellie, Laurie, our Elaine, we've got George. Hello, George, from Austin, Texas. Wow, it's nice to see you. I've been to Austin, Texas. Well, the airport. It was hot. It was very hot. And then we have Richard and Patrice. Hello, Patrice. We have Roz and Sandra. Hello, Sandra. We've got our Chris. How you doing, Chris? Chris is now broken up, so I bet you've got the mother of all Friday feelings right now. I won't get my iron brew then. I wouldn't have it any other way. The universe would fall off its axes if you wasn't having your iron brew. Catherine, and who else? Kimberly, Chantel. I never know how to say Chantel or Chantal, but welcome anyway. And who else? We've got Kim and Jamie. Hello, Jamie. Oh, and June. Hello, June. Hope you're doing okay. Debbie is here. And Butterfly, Isabel, Tiny Trinkets Tarot, Angela. That's right, isn't it? Angela. I can see Angela wearing her charm bracelet. This is how I have to remember things. I've built up over my 50 years on this earth, with having ADD, little things to remember stuff. I can always remember one of my favorite crystals is malachite, as you know, but when it's mixed with chrysocolla, it's beautiful. And I said to Liz once, my friend Lizzie, who's got the crystal store, Lizzie, and I can never remember chrysocolla. And I always say, you know that beautiful blue color it sometimes gets, and she'd say chrysocolla, and I said, I just can't remember, and I don't know how to remember it. And she said, break it up and visualize things. So cry. See somebody sewing with a can of cola and crying. And that helped me to see the word chrysocolla. And now I don't even have to think somebody crying. It just comes. It's weird. It's really weird how the brain works. But now I know that Tiny Trinkets and Tarot is called Angela, and I'll never forget. Stephen, long-haired, skinny-eyed toe. Yours is a name I'm going to have to, unless you don't want your name, of course. We've got our Alex. How are you doing, Alex, today? Heather and Angelic Michelle. RL is dear daughter. We've got Adam. Hello, Adam. Good to see you again. And Deanne made it. Oh, Deanne's live this afternoon was joyous. So nice to have a day off work and not... because I've been able to jump in the last couple of weeks while I've done Fridays at home. Well, last week, actually, I was in work, but I was there on my own. So I was able to kind of listen in, but then you get calls and you get emails. So it was nice to be able to just sit and absorb myself in somebody else's live. It was lovely. Emily, it's going to take me ages to get through the list today because I'm nattering. Mahoret, Laurie, Tamara, Kim, Miss Deraji, welcome. I've not seen you before, but very welcome. And we have Ness, Jojo, Becca, Ailpower Becca, and then we have Sonia, Celia, Elaine. Hello, Elaine. Nice to see you. Isabel, Josie. Have I caught up? Joanna. Have I caught up, he says. There's thousands of comments. I'm way behind. Mulamia, nice to see you. Maria. And did I say Ness? I think I said Ness, but if I didn't, hello, Ness. The Hermit's Cave, I do that with numbers to remember pins. 1 is a bun. 2, shoe. Ah. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? How, if I've missed anybody, I do apologise. There's nearly 90 people here, and I got sidetracked with things. But yeah, I do it all the time. Patronus Towers. I had to see Pat rowing a boat. Patronus. It's just how because otherwise it doesn't stick in this old brain of mine. Oh, we've got Miria. Hello from Mexico. Well, welcome, Miria. Nice to see you as well. So how's everybody's Friday? We made it to the end of a week. It's QuaranStream 81. Can you believe it? 81 QuaranStreams. And we had a good, what would you say, 5 months in between? I think we did 46 or 47. And then we had the break when quarantine was lifted. And we had a bit of summer. And then it all started to kick in again around Christmas time, didn't it? So, Maria, yes, my mum's doing a lot better today. I mean, it's up and down. Days are going to be good and not so good. But she got out of bed at 10 o'clock today, which is a massive step compared to yesterday. She showered with assistance, of course, and she's changed and she's downstairs. And I spoke to her, and yeah, it's a good day today. So thank you for asking. And everybody's been so lovely and supportive. I do appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. A few more hours. It's a brutal week. Can be sometimes, can't it? Thank goodness for QuaranStreams. I'm really tired and looking forward to the weekend. Yeah, I've had a lovely day off. I've done bugger all, but that was my intention. I slept in till about 9:30, I think. I was kind of consciously aware of the clock radio for 2 hours because it plays for 2 hours. Then shuts itself off. But, you know, I kind of heard it coming in and thought, oh, today's one day where I don't have to get up. I can't remember the news headlines or anything like that. And then I woke up 2 hours after the alarm would have gone off the radio, 9:30. Had a lovely soak in the bath today. Popped out, did a little bit of food shopping and just chilled out. Was in Deanne's live this afternoon. So, yeah, it's been really, really nice, relaxing day. Pants, looks like I'll soon be losing my job. Oh, no. That's really awful, Celia. I am sorry. But you know what? As somebody who's been there in the last couple of years, things may seem really dire at the moment, but it's only when you're at a certain point in the future looking back that you realise things in the moment are really tough. And I don't, I'm not taking that away from you because they are, but there is a brighter future. There is a brighter future. And you often look back and think, well, that worked out pretty good, actually. Thank you, June. This light is really dazzling me. Let's have it on that one. That's a bit softer. You wouldn't believe when I see the picture here, you wouldn't believe that I've got all the lights on, would you? If I show you here, look. Let's go that way. Look, the big main lights are on. And there's 2 of them, but it's not throwing out a lot of light at all, really. I love your t-shirt. Thank you. This is it's the green man t-shirt that was sent to me in that great big care package that I got a month or so ago. It's nice and baggy, which I like baggy when it comes to t-shirts and things. But yeah, it's lovely. So I thought I'd put it onto. It's really thick. It's nice, thick quality. And that was from my friend Anton, as I say, from Texas, also from Texas. The Duck Army. The Duck Army had a shaky day today after being as sick as a small hospital last night. Oh no. Horrid reaction to some meds. Oh, I'm sorry. How are you feeling now at the end of the day? I know you said you've had a shaky day, but you're feeling a little bit better. You are pulling in light particles, Simon, like a black hole, absorbing it all. Yeah, just seeing if there's anybody. Hi, Candy. Nice to see you. Can you hear it? I don't know if you can hear it or not. Do you not have a lot of ducks on top of your unit? Chris, you're going back a long time. No, I don't anymore. They're in the back room. I used to have them all lined up. I had all my ducks lined up in a row. No, now on top, I have candles and Buddhas and Kuan Yin. Right at the other end, there's Kuan Yin and the Buddha. There's Skelly. Yeah, so it's Buddhas and candles and bears. Oh my! And Krampus is up there. I'm not stressing out about it. What will be, will be. It's a really good attitude. And my card for this year is death. Yeah, lots of change. And just remember, with the death card, it's our reaction to it, isn't it? And that's a really good, healthy attitude, Celia. Because, as I always say, what is it? I should have this as a quote. We'll put a card to it. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. So, your reaction to change can make it a positive change or a negative change. But I'm conscious that, when I put that back, wrong enter. When I first heard about redundancies again, your stomach turns and you think, oh, especially when you live on your own and everything is dependent on you and your income, it's a stressful time. And I was fortunate enough that I was able to make a decision and say, actually, I'm going to take the redundancy package, not knowing what was going to come, but I put trust into the universe. And I just felt that it was the right time after 15 years. It was the right time to leave and put myself out there, open myself up, and just see what came. And thankfully, wow, 100 times better. Simon, I totally heard that wind. Sounds like an animal. It gets 10 times worse than that. Sometimes I can't sleep at night because it's like a screeching noise. Literally, when I said screeching banshee, exactly what it's like sometimes. This is quite mild, but I did wonder. But well done, Chris, for your memory. It's windy up your end, Simon. All right, Becca. Steady. It's your turn to go live later. Wonder how Anton is faring down there in Texas. I've been shoveling tons of snow this week in Illinois. I'd imagine it's quite warm. Do they even have snow in Texas? Ever? I wouldn't have thought so. I find it really difficult to trust the universe. I admire anyone who can. I used to be like that. Chris. I was very scared and fearful of change. And to some degree I am, but then sometimes I just think, never in my life have I, even when I've been right down in the pits, 2001 to 2004 for me was the darkest period of my life. I couldn't leave the house for a year. I was out of work for 3 years because I was too ill to work. And even then, I never want to go back there. But even now, when I look back, that was a learning experience. And afterwards, life was better, much better. You know, so sometimes you just have to trust. You have to trust and give things time. And we can achieve amazing things if we have the right mindset and the right focus. So Chantal says, Simon, the Hermit's Cave, I ordered the Bright Future Tarot after yours and Jen's walkthrough. Fell head over heels in love with it. It's a firm favourite of mine. It's out on my desk. It's absolutely wonderful. The cardstock is luscious. It's matte, borderless around the images, and just so colourful and beautiful. I love it. I have got a version without keywords coming and a pouch as well because I love it that much. So yeah, it is one of the lovely ones. That and the Zany Tarot so far this year, I've just been so obsessing over. No snow in Texas. No, I wouldn't have thought so. Oh, they are buried in snow with power and water outages in Texas right now. Oh, wow. I never knew that Texas got... They must have extremes then, because it was 113 degrees when I stepped off the plane in Austin, and it felt like I was being suffocated with a hot blanket. You know, you go into the barbers, well, the males amongst us, and you have a hot shave, a wet shave, and they put the hot towel around you. It was literally like that. They have snow, ice, and no power in Texas at the moment. Crikey. Huge snowstorms. Wow, that's terrible. I hope everybody's okay. I'll drop Anton a message later and see how he is. Hi, Jen. Nice to see you. Never apologise for being late. I know that you're at work and things, and you can only pop in when you can pop in, and it's lovely to see you. So, yeah, just catching up. So, a bit of an announcement before we do quote of the day and deck of the day. I didn't know, and it's really remiss of me. I only knew because I went onto Instagram this morning. I don't spend a lot of time on Instagram, to be fair, and I've never been to Instagram TV before until the other night, and it was to see Marty from Tarot in the City, who I used to converse with about 4 years ago, way before YouTube days, and he was doing a TV thing, you know, a live thing like I'm doing now, but on Instagram. But I also saw Jens on there from Arcantum, and I don't know if you remember, but back in August, he sent me 2 copies of the Purgatorium decks and the sheet that goes with them. And I've just, he put them on Kickstarter and he didn't get funding, which is a travesty, really. And then he spoke to me, and I spoke to Conrad, and we talked about perhaps, you know, putting them on playing cards or something like that. Anyway, he's gone for it again. And I didn't realise until I saw on Instagram that he has got a Kickstarter campaign at the moment. And it's been funded. There's still a few days to go, but it's already crossed the line. So they will now be happening. And these are incredible. Cardstock is gorgeous. They're matte, 350 GSM. Let me put, I couldn't add it to the video before I went on. So I'll drop the link if I can here. Oh, it's not letting me now. Paste. Bear with. Here we go. Let's copy. Copy. Try again. And then paste. There we go. Yeah, and these images, they're great. It is an oracle deck, but it's also linked with the Mantegna Tarot. Look at that. And I just adore it. And he sent me these larger cards with bigger borders and rounded corners. And then he sent me a smaller They're not in order because I've used them. A smaller deck, which has square corners. And the way it works, and again, when I list it later and put the link like I've done there, I will put my walkthrough video on again from August because I explain it a lot better than I'm about to now. But basically, it works on the grief model, the model by Dr. Kubler-Ross on loss and grief. So you've got your 7 stages here of grief across the top, and then links with the Mantegna Tarot down the side. So basically, each card, like this one, will have a symbol and a number and a keyword. So the symbol here is the crescent moon, which is there, and then the number there corresponds to death. So for instance, if we have a card, let's just pull one at random. Okay, we'll have this one. This one's a little bit saucy. So you've got PM, Priya Kulma, which is the Pope, but it's the divine source basically. And the number is 4. You see 4 there. You find it across and you have action. Okay, so the divine one is represented as the Pope here. When in the position of bargaining, because that's the stage from the grief model, 4 would be in a life state, if you like, of action. So I haven't explained it brilliantly, but if you watch the walkthrough that I did in August, I explain it much more coherently. But basically, it's an oracle. There are keywords on them. You don't have to use the sheet, but it gives you a little bit more insight because the Mantegna Tarot was 5 suits of 10 cards, I think. But yeah, I like this kind of grid reference way of doing it. So if you have somebody like the Merchant, do you see there, the Merchant, and they are in, well, let's say they're in bargaining as well. So the Merchant is bargaining, then that is a state of survival. The Merchant bargaining because they need to survive. That's what they're doing. A Knight in the state of acceptance is victory. A Gentleman in the state of anger is having to use force. Do you get how it works? But that aside, I'm just so thrilled that this deck is now going to be published because Jens is not only an incredible artist, but a really lovely guy, really friendly guy. I don't know if people follow him on Instagram. It's got some really creepy video clips and stuff as well. And if you have a look at the Kickstarter campaign and watch the video, I'll put the link in again there for you. You will see just and watch the video just how kind of eerie and creepy it is. So, all right. So let me have a look at the comments. Yes, I'm glad it's back. I thought I heard my name when I popped in. I've not used it for 2 days. I'm really liking it. What's that? What have you not heard for 2 days? Oh, I say, says Becca. Why is Becca oh, I say in it? Well, Becca, you like these cards, didn't you? I seem to remember you saying how much you like the Purgatorium. Chris says, he has indeed. If Louis snarling at Becca gave you a fright, Yen's Insta story will too. Hi, Caroline. How are you? So, yeah, shall we have quote of the day? Oh, but we've got Jen, and Elle present. So wait for it. We've had a couple of days where we've been off lightly, haven't we? I think today's is quite easy, but every time I say that, I'm kind of I did indeed, says Becca. I'm quite surprised by the reaction, so perhaps I shouldn't say it's easy or not. It's easy to me, but then that's because I come up with it and know it. All right, are we poised? Yes, says Jackie. Jackie's ready. Big capitals, yes. Right, so here we go. So for quote of the day, let me turn that ticker off as well. Our quote is, sometimes it is better to observe than to act. Sometimes it is better to observe than to act. Ready to be wrong, says Jen. God loves a trier. George says my first, or is it Jorge? The wall, 3 of pence. Simon, I'm doing much better, thank you. That's good, Caroline. 2 of wands, 9 of wands, knight to pence, 4 of cups, 3 of wands, the hermit, the hangman. Well, I thought it was easy. 3 of wands, 2 of wands. Oh, Maria Seigstad, is that how you say it? Got it. It is the High Priestess. Oh, and then Elemental Cartomancy straight underneath. Yes, it's the High Priestess. So you're not going to give me slack today, are you? Let me get it in position and I'll put the quote back up. Oh, I've covered the screen with it. Sometimes it's better to observe than to act. So I think really, whenever I see the High Priestess, you know, to have a conversation with her, she would say something along the lines of, why are we always rushing around? You know, we are human beings, not human doings. And with this card, I think in particular, it kind of reminds me of that we shouldn't always rush to act unless we've thought it through and we know the full story and we know what's going on. So, you know, if we're always doing and acting, then we really are missing out on an opportunity to go deep, you know? And the High Priestess reminds us actually that it's okay just to be sometimes. It's okay not to be rushing around and act. Be an observer, assess the situation, take time, take stock, and then know when to move and when to act once you've seen the full picture of everything. So we are human beings, not human doings. So it's okay to spend time going within and, you know, really connecting on a deeper level. Because if we're rushing around constantly, we're not being fair on ourselves and we're not allowing ourselves the opportunity to go deeper. Yeah, she's the deepest well. See all, knows all. Well said, Deanne. That had to do a tiny leap, but I can see where that would work out. I finally got one right, says Pamela. High Priestess has all the secrets. Jonathan says the High Priestess is his soul card. Sandra says this one makes sense to me. L, well, that's kind of a start. Well, out of all of them, I'll take it. Anne says to quote L, what? Can you not see it, Anne? I'm bad at this game. Chantal says, oh my God, I really need to listen to my gut. Dang it. She is the passive to the magician. Yeah. That one makes sense to me. I'm okay with it, says Jen. Oh, there you are then. And Regina says that one makes a lot of sense. Good. And it didn't take long, really, to get it. So, hi, Wild Heart Warrior. Nice to see you. So, Wow, there's the bongs. It's 6 o'clock. So shall we have our deck of the day? Let's put our High Priestess back. It made sense once you explained it. Oh dear. All right, so deck of the day. Dun, dun, dun. This one I've not had for too long. It has been out for a few years now, but I've not had it too long. But I've only ever shown it once, which was when I did my first ever walkthrough. There's hope for us yet, Simon. And it is Sawyer's Path. It's really interesting that the front of the box doesn't have any words or anything on it. You go to the back and it says Sawyer's Path, a tarot journey. But yeah, and it's a homage to the classic RWS. There's no little book or anything with it. It's just the cards, but you can use any RWS book to work with this. I think you can buy a separate book, and I think I did buy a separate book from memory. Oh, Sandra loves this one. I wonder how many people are going to order this one. This isn't a sales pitch or a marketing ploy or anything like that. Nobody contacts me and says, would you feature my deck on Deck of the Day? Trust me, I would be honest and upfront. Simon, just for information, I started my tarot collection by watching your walkthroughs. Well, I'm hoping that you're kind of happy with that and that's not a kind of a criticism. I'm sure it's not. Oh, that's a different box than what Jen got. Then Vaughan destroyed it. You can buy a separate book. You did buy the book, Simon. I thought I did, yeah. So we'll take a look at it. The art is stunning, really stunning. And Becca's here, isn't she, in chat? Because I think she, if I remember rightly, she liked this because the colours, and Becca's all about colours, are so vibrant and luscious. It is a standard tarot size from memory, exactly the same, I think. Yeah, exactly the same size as a standard RWS. And it's gorgeous. Features lots of crystals, so people who like crystals will like this as well. Purely for our enjoyment. Exactly, that's the whole point of Deck of the Day. Just have a look at a deck that's in my collection. And part of it is because people say to me as well, you know, you've got over 500 decks. How can you possibly enjoy them all? How can you use them? Well, having something like Deck of the Day and pulling one off a day and having a look is another reason, isn't it? Here, sir. You'll like this one, Becca. Becca, with you on the colours. Yeah, so, and all crystals, says Ness. So yeah, it's kind of a very light energy. I wouldn't say cartoony. I know it has been described as cartoony. I just think it's the art style. It's borderless. There is no writing on any of the cards. In fact, when it gets to the minors, they're just images. So you have to really look at the image and kind of count the amount of cups. But that's if you're beginning, because it's very RWS. So if you know RWS, you'll recognize the images anyway. It's so lush. So here is our beautiful full card. We have a female full. Look at the sun. How gorgeous is the sun? And a full blooming rose as well, which is really nice. And that dog, look how gorgeous that little dog is. And she's really about to take that step off that ledge, isn't she? They also, Jamie Sawyer also does tarot tiles, and I've got my Pame tarot tiles, which are by Jamie Sawyer. These are the 1909 Pame. It irks me a bit because Pame was 1910, but I'm not going to hold that against her. But she also does tarot tiles in these. And Jen, you've got the tarot tiles in the Sawyer's Path, haven't you? Here's the Magician. quite what's the word, type of magician, like Professor Marvel from Wizard of Oz. But it's a lovely close up. It's got the tools on the table, etc. The lemniscate. High Priestess. So on the majors, you get numbers, and they're kind of hidden within the artwork. So they're not, you know, uniformly top center or bottom center or anything like that. They just appear within the image. I love the candle of light. I love the fact she's got the Taurus scroll. Beautiful. The moon cycles in her belly. Do you actually use your tiles, Simon? I'm considering the Pocket of Peers tarot tiles at some point. I've not seen Pocket of Peers. Oh, don't set me on a rabbit hole. I do use them. I don't use them as much as I should. I want to get, you know, if you was to, I don't know what they're called. You can buy them to sit cakes on, but you know, like a slice of a tree, the trunk of a tree. You get like a slice and you've got all the rings. I want that for my desk to lay the tarot tiles out. I have looked at the kind of boards that Jamie sells. Let me be showing you these while I'm yabbering away. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the little deer, little Bambi. It's so beautiful. But I just kind of want a plain, I don't like following other people's spreads like that. I just want that plain kind of wooden to put them on. And I want a big bag. Now, I did order a bag that's got the Hermit's Cave for the tiles. But when I put them in, they did fit, but I couldn't get my hand in. They was quite chunky. So I need a bigger drawstring bag because I want to be able to kind of shake them up and put my hand in and pull out. Emperor. Quite a traditional Hierophant there with his staff. Jamie Sawyer has a new deck going on Kickstarter called Pocket of Peers. Pocket of Peers is Jamie Sawyer's new deck. Kickstarter goes live in a month. I need to check it out then, or do I? Look at the sun. I love that sun. This is our lover's card. Yeah, Jen has the same problem. Don't have a good bag for them yet. Needs to be quite big to get all of them in, but they are beautiful. I'll show you a couple at the end if nobody's seen them. Beautiful strength card, really gorgeous. I love this Hermit. Look at that sky. Just stunning. The deck disturbs me a bit. I've got pictures of our tarot peers. Oh, Pocket of Peers. Is it people that we know from the tarot world? Not sure if that's what you mean. Beautiful Justice card. Simon, a Chinese cutting board is exactly that slice of wood you're talking about. You can order them from Wok Shop on Amazon. I need to remember this because I hear things in lives and then I forget. Let me make a quick note. Oh. So, Chinese cutting board, the Wok Shop, Amazon. Thank you, Pamela. All right, so then we have the Hanged Man. Look at that for a happy, contented face. Love this. Has got to be one of my favorite death cards. Look at the setting sun, the red sky, the beautiful indigo water, and then the death figure and white rose in the flag. Absolutely beautiful. Temperance. Here we have the devil. We've got the male and the female symbols to represent. And the, oops, and the chain of bondage. The tower. Stop. Simon, I love this deck too. I take it you don't have it then, Chantal. Gorgeous star card. The moon I adore. Just look at that. Do you notice as well that the hounds are there, but they're carved into the rocks, look? I was tempted to get Jamie Sawyer's round oracle deck too. I just love her artwork. Sun. It's on the My Little Pony, look. Well, it's a unicorn, but it looks like, because it's purple, it looks like a My Little Pony. That blue, I know, right? Judgment. We have the elements represented with the symbols and the colours in each of the corner. I love the little lemniscate right on her tummy. So that's the majors. Hi, Kiki. Watching the deck intently. So I'll go a little bit faster through the minors, but these are our cups. And you'll see there is no number or titles or anything. It's just the image. But look at that on the cups. We've got the symbolism there because we're used to seeing that lion's head with the wings in the Two of Cups in the background, and that, you know, kind of underneath coming down. But they're both there, one on each cup. It's very clever. You're not going to sit and watch walkthroughs tonight. The Triskel there in the triple moon. Beautiful. Four of Cups. Elaine, do you use your tiles? Because you made your own, didn't you? Which was a fascinating process to watch you do. I really enjoyed watching that video. But do you use yours? I know they're a little bit bigger than the tarot tiles I've got. Do you find, with you asking me that question, I'm wondering if perhaps you don't use yours as much as you thought you might? Kind of a traditional Seven of Cups. And do you remember we were talking the other day about, I can't remember who's live, but about the fact that in the Eight of Cups, it is an eclipse. And you can clearly see here, look, you've got the sun and the moon together. Oh, wow, that high Kiki freaked her out. I love doing things like that. It's like when Becca's on and you see Mabel and you're like, Mabel. Gorgeous Ten of Cups, look. Look how they're all the rainbow colours, because we're used to seeing the rainbow in the Ten of Cups. So even though it's a fresh take on the traditional RWS, I really like the fact that she's made use of the symbology in other areas, like the rims around the cups representing the rainbow. You and that eclipse. Well, I put it in there, I'm like, it's an eclipse. And everybody was like, no, it's not an eclipse. I was like, I've always seen it as an eclipse. Simon made us do it. What? I bet YouTube lights up with everybody searching for reviews. Page of Cups, my significator card. The Knight. I like the courts, the way they're done. They're quite uniform, as in, you know, they have the same sort of style, but you get the elements represented really well. You've got all the kind of watery cups, energy here, and fire when you get to wands and that sort of thing. It's really good how it's done. And these kind of side profiles. I do indeed. I like using them for personal daily pulls, and I keep them out on the wooden base I made for read it. So you've got a wooden base, you see. I added smaller tree rings and made resin tile stands too. Oh, fab. Would you say hi to Goblin, but she's sleeping in another room? Would have you say hi to Goblin? Well, if ever, Sarah, you're on again and Goblin's about, then I'm happy to do it. Deanne, you know, you showed the deck this afternoon, the Prison Tarot, and I said how the wands reminded me of Sawyer's Path. That was because I just put this deck into order. But I'll show you what I mean. Obviously, it's not the same colours, but you know, those ones with the crystals at the end, like the crystal ones that we have. That's what I meant. And again, you know, you've got your fiery wands energy, but you've got the world for that two of wands with the world in his hands, our hands. Let the record show that I was quite happy taking your word for it, Simon. There was a certain someone who didn't even want to take Rachel's word for it. I wondered where he was going then. I'm like, what's he on about? 3. Yes, Rachel. Yes, because somebody even went to the book, Rachel's book. 5. But doesn't it take on a different energy? You know, the 5 of wands, but when there are all these beautiful crystals. Yes, it's similar style feel to those ones. Yeah, I thought so. I like this as well. Very different energy for here, isn't it? You know, it's kind of the I don't know, she just seems very content. And even here, you know, that sort of burden. Yeah, it's a little bit doughy-eyed, but he's managing it. It has a lighter energy, I feel, this deck. Editing and writing more tomorrow since that's my day off. And again, with the courts, these kind of side profiles, but here we've got, you know, we've got salamanders, we've got the fire energy. Elaine says, those ones remind me of the ones I saw in a shop in Glastonbury last year. If we manage to get over this year, I promised myself one of them. Oh, yeah. Got to treat yourself. I know what I'm treating myself to this year. She's going to have a companion. Our swords. And some of these sword cards, they've got these kind of diamond shapes through most of them, and then there's a couple that just don't, and I'm not quite sure why. So again, we've got a lot of air, you know, represented here with bubbles coming up, air bubbles, and then clouds. Are there now numbers on the suits and majors? No, there's no numbers on the suits, just the majors. So yeah, so then we go to the 8 of Swords, which is just, we don't have that diamond, which I'm pleased, because you know, I'm not quite sure why those ones did. And then it just stops at the 8, 9, and 10. And then they appear again for the page and the knight. Not the queen, but it does for the king. It's only a little thing, but I just always wonder why. The energy just feels hopeful somehow, which is appealing. Yeah, I agree, Roz. Surprisingly liking this deck. Didn't think I would when introduced it. Why diamonds? Should be spades, surely. Yeah, I don't know if it's actually meant to represent playing card diamonds. I think it's just kind of like the style, but it's not consistent through the whole suit or with the card, with the courts, but I'm not sure. Not sure why. So gorgeous, beautiful Ace of Pentacles. And look at this. This reminds me of one of these beautiful Organites. Mine's up there, so I would have grabbed it and showed you what I can reach this one, which is beautiful. Look, I love Organites. And look from underneath. And Elaine made me one, which is next to my bed as well. And I've got this one and another one a bit higher up. Quite a traditional, you know, the three, we've got the stone masonry work, we've got the chisel and the hammer. No people, but the symbols are there. This is incredible. Look at their emotion for the Five of Pentacles. It has a solar system. It does indeed. Look at her. She doesn't look happy doing that, does she really? And this is a gorgeous Nine of Pentacles. Really beautiful. And then our 10. Look at the little sleeping dog. And then the page. Knight. I like how there is so much emotion in the suits. Yeah. There is. It's such a gorgeous deck. I haven't used it half as much as I should. And I really should, because the art is fantastic. The card stock as well is lovely. It's really nice. It reminds me of Mate Playing Cards Superior Smooth. But it's really, really lovely. So I said, for those who haven't seen them before, I'll just quickly show a couple of Jamie Sawyer's tiles. They've got this beautiful box, which has each of the minors, the suits represented, wands, cups, pentacles, swords, etc. Then on the back, got some of Pixie's artwork, and then it says Rider-Waite Smith 1909 version Pame tarot tiles. And when you take the lid off, the lid comes off like this. They're stacked on the inside, and they are gorgeous. Let's just pull one. Oh, I pulled death. But look at the finish to them. And then on the backs, again, they have this wood burning, wood staining each of the suits. Really, really lovely. Pull another at random. Pulled the Queen of Pentacles. And these are copies of the Pame. as well. Now, they are quite expensive. Oh, there's our High Priestess again. They are quite expensive, but they take a lot of time, and they're individually handmade, and there will be some imperfections. I haven't seen many, just a few little blotches perhaps on the backs and stuff, but there's my Page of Cups. And I thought long and hard before I hit the buy button, but then I thought, you know what, you come this way once in life, and they are stunning. They really are. Patrice has mentioned a really important point about the deck above. Patrice. I'm still challenged by the lack of diversity in the deck. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it is quite female-centric. There's a lot of females that have replaced what the archetypes that would have been traditionally represented by males. But yeah, there's not a lot of race diversity, sexual orientation, different abilities, etc. So yeah, and I know it's been out a few years now, but let's see. It'll be interesting to see what the next deck that Jamie's making looks like. Thank God I didn't want the tiles. Beautiful though. Epoxy resin. I could make these. Yeah, do it. Elaine did. Elaine's done a video exactly how to make them. She made her own. So, and that would be a labour of love, and you'll have a much deeper connection with it if you can make your own. Most definitely. All right, it's nearly past. Let's pull a card. I always check that there's not a card caught up inside that little fold out, because it's happened before. Hey Justin, how are you? I'm just at the end, about to pull a card. You can see pictures of her next deck. And is it any better in terms of representation? Oh, that's nice. Oh, Elaine used the Radiant Wise Spirit Mini for hers. I'm actually thinking of doing the same thing with the Dark Light runes. Yeah, so Pocket of Pierce is going on Kickstarter next month. We just wondered if the diversity had been better represented in relation to Patrice's valuable comment. All right, a message for us for the next 24 hours. That's great, Jonathan, but I'm just wondering if, there's diversity in the deck. Can anybody tell us? Lots of people are saying that they've seen it and it's been launched and you've been looking at it on Instagram. But in relation to Patrice's comment about the lack of diversity in Sawyer's Path, we're just wondering if, because that's a few years old now and we've kind of gone on about it in the community for a long time. And I'm wondering if people are listening and when they're creating new decks, whether that's been taken on board. Lots of diversity in the new deck. Good. And that's what we want, isn't it? It's a fine line, there's nobody wants tokenism, and if the creator's world is a certain way and they create it in that certain way, fine. But if it's not, and the community speaks and expresses their desire to see better representation, then what you like to see is that evolution as well with deck creators. So it is great that, you know, that's been picked up. And Patrice says, yes, diversity in pocket of peers, which is fine, isn't it? That's good that you can actually see that evolution of a creator as well. All right. We have the divine. Oh, and we talked about this symbol, didn't we? We talked about this symbol in the Two of Cups, how that was on one cup and that was on another. I love the synchronicity. And actually, the divine, what was the quote today? It was the high priestess. And, you know, the fact that if we're always doing and rushing around and not taking time to connect, then we're doing ourselves a disservice. So I suppose the first question to consider here is, what is the divine to you? You know, because for some people that's God. Some people that might be a goddess. Some people it might be the universe. For others, it might be our soul. What's in here is divine. And for some people, it might be all of the above. You know, God, goddess, universe, soul, that interconnectedness of all things. But what is the divine to you? And make sure that you are connecting more with the divine, with source, the supreme soul, however you want to term it. And to when we connect and we draw and we on that energy and we exist in that energy, then, you know, light reflects. So we become in partnership with the divine, and our actions are better, and our words and deeds and everything else is from a better and purer place. We alter our life state. So connect with the divine, go deeper, like the high priestess said, go deeper and connect. And like yesterday's card, the pyramids, you know, you can be grounded and you can still be focusing on your higher self. Jonathan says, the reason I really love the pocket of peers is because I know so many of the people in the cards, and it's going to introduce me to more tarot folk. Yeah, I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. I'll have a look. I don't know anything about it. It's the first time I've heard about it today. I would need to see, because if I'm working with a deck and a person, and I don't know who they've used, a person is being used to represent a certain archetype, it needs to be done right for me. So I'll have to have a look. Praise the Lord, says Justin. Exactly. And if that's your jive, then that's wonderful. Tarot fan forever. Yeah. All right, everybody. It's just gone past. I hope you all have a fantastic end to your week. Happy Friday once again. For those of you who's in the Southern Hemisphere and starting your weekend, have a fabulous weekend. I'll be back tomorrow at 4 p.m. for Cuppa Catch Up and Cards. And I hope to see you there for that. And until then, as always, look after yourselves. Be kind to yourselves, have some treats, do whatever you need to do to, you know, just find the simple pleasures in life. And until tomorrow, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.